again to OneCricket exclusive. Now, Brian Lara twice, Hanif Mohammed, Sir Dom Bradman, BB Nimbuka, Bill Ponsford twice, Aftab Bullock, Archie McLaren, and Graham Hick. That was the top 10 of a very exclusive club indeed. The scorers of the highest ever first-class innings, all at 400 or more. But now that club has a new member. And it's my guest today, Sam Northeast. Sam, huge congratulations and a warm welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, good to be on and speak about some cricket.
Yes, indeed. Well, I mean, there is really only probably one place to start. Now, was Steve James's Glamorgan record of 309 not out really the only one you were aware of? I've seen a few interviews and you've sworn blind that was true every time.
Well, it was not necessarily the one I sort of only knew about. It was more just the one I sort of only cared about on that day, really. It was like a strange one because to get past Steve James, it was weird because actually doing an interview with him sort of a couple of days later and just sort of saying, well, actually, I sort of kind of wanted to beat your record. But yeah, just to go down in the history books for Glamorgan would have been unbelievable. And then thinking when I was out there going, I'm going past, like 333 and, going past, Gooch, Gale, and then like Matt Hayden, and you're going like, okay, well, look, anything's really a bonus at this moment. But I don't think I realised how much 400 meant to me and to the sort of public, really, and the reception I got when sort of getting 400. I don't think I realised that at the time. And it only sort of sunk in, I guess, a couple of days later. But yeah, after that sort of morning of getting past Steve James, I just was like, well, anything's really a bonus, and we'll try and set up a game and try and win the game. And that was sort of the target.
Yeah, I was kind of coming onto that. So BC Lara hadn't really crossed your mind. It was in percentage terms, given how many you already had on the board, it was close. But in actual runs terms, I suppose it was still quite some way away.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was never in my mind. I mean, the whole game. I mean, nothing. These sort of scores, you were batting and you just went past and you tried to sort of we were trying to avoid the follow on at one stage and stuff like that. And then you sort of look up the scoreboard and you think, I'm sort of not doing too badly here. Everything's going pretty well. And then we were able to have a bit of fun at right at the end of the knock as well.
Well, yeah, you did. Now, I also saw that you said that you'd had more nerves in the 190s than in the 390s. Was it just that you were so in the groove by the time you got to 390? It was just a case of keeping going.
Yeah, it was, and plus it was just a score which you can't even sort of imagine being in the 390s, let alone. And as I said, just getting 400. I don't think I realised at the time sort of how monumental sort of an achievement, and then looking at the record books after it, and then letting it all sink in, and joining such an unbelievable list of players. I don't think it really realized. I didn't realize how much it meant to me, and then a couple of days later, just sort of being a part of history like that meant a huge amount. But when I was in the middle, it didn't really feel like that. But that sort of a double hundred had been on my list of things to sort of achieve in first class cricket, and so being in the 190s.
So you doubled that and then doubled that.
Yeah.
You doubled that target. But it would be fair to say, would it that the match situation was on your mind? I mean, you went to 400 with a 6. That kind of suggests that you possibly had a declaration on your mind and you knew you needed to give yourself a chance of winning the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when there was basically sort of chat around sort of declaring around lunch or just after it and in the morning, So, I mean, Matt sort of May and I said, if that's, we might bat for another 15 minutes if we're not in the position which we want to be. But we were, and there was about a 10-minute discussion at lunch about, one cookie was on 191, so about him getting a double 100, and then we needed another 28 to get the 6-wicket record partnership of all time in any first class game. And then sort of case of me just going up a few notches in a very sort of a bonkers list of players and 400 list. So that was the discussion, but I think everyone agreed that it was the right time to declare, and then to go on and win it was just an unbelievable effort from
even that
from the
partnership.
bowlers.
Yeah, that partnership, 6-wicket partnership was I think was it 460 not out was the two of you, wasn't it, with Chris Cook? But you did overtake Warwick Armstrong and Monty Noble. So there you go. I think they were on 428 from Australia at Hove in 1902. So there's a piece of history.
Yeah.
Monty Noble, of course, the bloke who got smacked over the Lord's Pavilion by Albert Trott. And yeah, as you rightly said, you were 27 short of George Headley and Karen Pasalagi from 1932. So even just saying those dates gives it a sense of sort of historical context, which I think is why people were so enthused and excited by it. So I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question, and you've already answered it. But as you look back, years to come, with maybe your grandchildren, I don't know, Sam Northeast 502 not out and a Glamorgan draw, or 410 or 410 not out and a Glamorgan win. What's the honest answer? And I'm not judging you either way, mate.
I mean, to be honest, it was almost like the perfect day, to be honest, to coming off 410 and then going on and winning. I mean, I just thought, I remember finishing that day just thinking, this couldn't have gone any better. But I can tell you about 75% of my mates, when they message me at lunch going, what are you doing? Go on and bat on, stuff the team, which probably tells you more about the friends and company I keep than anything else. But yeah, but in no scenario was it ever in my mind. But and just to be a part of that, sort of around those players of Don Bradman and Graham Hick and
that is
Brian
well, you
Lara,
passed Graham Hick, remember? You bumped him down the list.
Yeah.
As you slot in comfortably at number 9. If I was reading this as like, pick of the pops and a massive leap of 27 places for Sam Northeast. Now, apparently your dad was watching. He was watching every ball on the stream, but he didn't want to come in case he put pressure on you. I mean, again, looking back, do you wish he'd made it to Leicester?
I mean, he might, think back now and think that, but you know what cricketers and cricket family are like. They're very superstitious, and everything was going well at that moment in time. So I guess, but I don't think he realised they got to 400 until about 3 o'clock or something, because he kept having to pause it on YouTube because people were coming in or something, and he had to turn his phone off so he wasn't getting messages from other people saying this and that. So because he kept pausing the live stream if people cover, it was just so I didn't. Yeah, he said he didn't realise it until about an hour after lunch or something. So. But yeah, the sort of dedication from cricket fans to just to not mess anything up and make sure everything goes smoothly. We've definitely all been there.
I remember being in the tavern once. Chris Rogers, I think, was on 97 in his Middlesex days. I said, "Good luck, Chris." He was out first ball next morning. So I'm personally always really careful what I say to who. Now, that 410 was noticed, I think, by Brendan McCullum, wasn't it? Or more particularly, perhaps the manner of it. Didn't Rob Keyes get a text sort of letting him know he was watching?
Yeah, Keaty just forwarded on the message from Brendan McCullum saying, great to see Sam go to 400 with a homer, which is a 6 in Brendan's language. So that's great to. Definitely, I think the style of it going to 400 was probably more of a meaning than getting 400 itself. But so that was nice, a nice message from Keezy to receive. But yeah, so many messages of from around the world, which is fantastic.